inviting my mentor, Professor TPS, to share his thoughts with us, his wisdom and his knowledge. Professor TPS, are you here with us, sir? Okay, you are welcome. And we hear from you, sir. I know you will say it's too early, but we want to hear from you. Okay, sir. It's your turn.
Yeah, namaskaram. Same day 2022 we were together on a topic which is on focus. What a great coincidence. It keeps happening. I'm sure we are going to be together for many more years like this. This is a continuous discussion on relationship that matters. Transformational leadership conference by my sister from UK, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, under the umbrella of Yes You Can International. So the question is whether that relationship, what we all have to maintain, is it just maintain or create an intimate relationship? We are there for last year, this year. Did we become more intimate? Did we know each other much more than what we know the last time? We keep seeing people on screen sometime, but no communication. Rarely we see people who communicate each other. I'm so glad Raghunathji was mentioning about the importance of communication. The interpersonal relationship, what he was mentioning. And previously that when my great brother from USA was talking, the contribution one can do for the humanity. What we can give to the world, physical, emotional, intimacy. Among all the best relationships, if you look at it, the most closest, the most intimate relationship is romantic, sexual relationship. But I'm sure family, friends, acquaintance, like what we have the acquaintance, which also can be made romantic, which also can be made with the feelings. Most of the time the professional relationship, all of us by nature, we grow and develop, and I know any moment of time, maybe after a few years or immediately now, each of us could die. Nobody is permanent here. But what matters to most of the people, they kill moments. They kill moments which are given as a gift by God. And they are worried about the death which is going to come after some time. So what we can change? The change starts by understanding your existence in this world, develop it and grow, learning ways and means of managing, if at all there is a difference. So navigating relationship, reaching closer to intimate, creating partners, friends, family members, by exchanging better ideas. Life is full of not roses. There can be problems. It goes with the different stages. Experience of stressful moments are quite natural. There could be health issues, financial difficulty, conflict with friends or family members. But life has to exist with events that are exciting. We always go on a transition. First, oh, this person is great. Let me have some contact. There is an attraction. It could be because of his knowledge. It could be because of his look. It could be because of the money which he owns or the property which he owns. Anything can be there. There is an attraction. And we start discovering. Is it really true that this man is showing knowledge? But is it that real knowledge? Is it that he is worth? So we all discover. There can be hide and seek by people. We have curiosity. Sometimes relationship get into crisis. Sometimes deep attachment, which is, as Bhagavad Gita says, the song of the Murti, the Ishvara, the concept of God in India, which always talk about attachment, commitment, perfection and imperfection, trusting and non-trusting. It could be between, as country to country, community to community, people to people. How much you share, that matters. Now today when we talk about relationship, as youngsters, most of the people have really live in relationship. The relationship is getting dissolved and diluted, looked from a different angle. Supreme Court of India, when one of its verdict mentioned that live-in relationship is like walk in and walk out. So we cannot recognize it. But I'm sure most of the country like France, Philippines, Scotland, and most of the countries, Ireland, UK, Canada, Australia, China, many people recognized it. India is still in the transition stage. We don't know whether we have to go globally or we have to have our own tradition, culture of keeping relationship, understanding the meaning and the concept of marriage, family, what are the legal issues, what can happen to the culture in India. So relationship also goes with a culture and a legality. So in this context of, we are discussing different nations, in this context of relationship issues, understanding it, we have to understand from the cultural point of view. I'm sure we are together to think together, to create some consensus together. So we are on the fourth part. I'm sure we should look at it very closely than talking about some. I remember when we started, I was also talking too generic. But I think this is the time for us to transition from very generic to very specific, understand the issues, because it needs a lot of looking at things. You know how many people migrate from India to UK just for studies? And what's happening today, none of them are returning. They're all settling there. So it's a cultural change. What will happen to the next generation? The next generation will be neither an Indian nor a Briton. So the whole world is into a transition of relationship with the culture, conflict with the culture, understanding what's happening, what are the parental issues. Living relationship is good for somebody to live together. But what will happen to the children? Do they have a legality? Do they have a tradition which it can be not considered? So we don't want to just have some discussions. I believe maybe Sister Queen Elizabeth, we should look at relationship which happens globally because of transition, because of education, lack of education, people migrate from one place to another place. What's happening to the next generation? What will be the futuristic way in which we can look at it? How the cultural conflict happens? How the psychological conflict happens? Today we can't believe people because they boast themselves, and there are a lot of traps on online relationships, and so many things have to be understood. So I'm sure we will go more and more in detail on such discussions. I'm seeing my great friends like Nada is there, Rignath is there, and Pastor is there. I'm sure we will have more and more of very concretized discussions which could contribute in understanding relationship in a much higher world with zoom inside and look at in the small issues. Thank you, because for common people it's not the global problem. So for common people it is the local problem, it is the life problem, it is family, individual, all that matters more than what happens in the global. Maybe politicians can look at it, right? So we are in the common level. Probably we should serve people to common, so that common people will understand what and how the leaders have to be. So they make a change in the leadership. Now today it is coming from top to bottom. Now we have to educate the bottom so that the leadership goes from bottom to top. So namaste, pranams, thank you. God bless you, inshallah. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your sharing this this afternoon, this morning. And I believe you've raised a very important question, which we all of us, wherever we are, when we go back to where we are, what in our organization, in our country, we need to start thinking about it. When we decide to be doing the Transformational Information and Transformational Leadership Conference, these are the issues that we need to be handling, to be dealing with. We need to see outside the box. We need to see beyond what we are seeing. Because we are all talking about global, international, worldwide. We are all talking, but we need to now start thinking, how can we make a change? Former president of USA, President Barack Obama said something, and I know, and I agree with it. He said, we are not waiting for somebody else or some time to make that change. He said, we are the one to make the change, and it is now than any other time. Because things are going wrong every day. Like Professor said, yes, I'm from Africa, for example. But where am I today? United Kingdom. And I've been here for more than 30 years. But at the same time, we don't want to lose those moral values, those relationships that bring us together. We don't want to lose the culture, the tradition, even our religions, our faith. So that is why we need to keep sharing. And I know I don't know. I know only little. And that is why I have established this kind of conference, so that I can invite all our world leaders for us to start talking more about issues. Yes, we can talk about communication. Yes, we can talk about finances. But it's more than that. If we really want to improve our relationship with others, you can agree with me that what is going on in the whole world in terms of war, in terms of abuse, child trafficking, children abuse, women being being ignored, and so many things that is happening around us. You can agree with me that the most important thing is some lack of understanding. And sometimes we only think about ourselves. But is it possible for a tree to be a forest? Is it possible to isolate ourselves in this worldwide world? Is it possible for someone to be, to just be themselves? And that is why we need to ask that questions. And I know that it's all going to start from individual. Because personal development is very important. Because how you love yourself is how you will love others. And it will extend as well to others, to the nation, to community, to society. Like my mentor just said, yes, some of us has migrated to somewhere else, either for business or for education, for anything. But some are not even planning. I'm planning to go back to Africa soon anyway. But then it took me 30-something years. So what about our generation to come? And that is why this platform is also being established, so that we can bring along our youth, our children, so that when we are sharing, they are listening and they are learning from our wisdom. And we are also learning from them. There's so many things, like I always say, when you don't know who you are, and you don't know your identity, there is a way, a pattern that you will behave out there. But when you know who you are, you know your purpose, you know why you come to this earth to do, then things can get better. So it's a special announcement, special issues that my mentor has just raised. Let's leave this conference today and make a change in our governorship, in our businesses, around us, in our society, in our community, even in our neighborhood. So let's continue to talk about it and bring in ideas. How we can appreciate others. How we can appreciate diversity. I'm African. I'm also British. I need to appreciate Indians' culture because I've got so many families, friends from there. I need to appreciate Philippines. I need to appreciate others. But then you need to know some certain things before you can appreciate them. And I think that is one of the reasons why we come together, so that we can share together and grow together and make an impact into this world. Sorry, I'm taking some time now, so sorry, I need to stop here. But I want to say thank you so much, Professor TPS, for enlightening us. And please keep sharing this to every platform. Relationship is the key to solve our problem in this world. When there is a good relationship, there will be peace and there will be unity. And there is hope for our younger ones and the new generation to come. So I want to say thank you so much, sir. And I want to say thank you, Professor Regunat Haraka. You've started the meeting very well by sharing with us that to communicate, you have to look at your body language. Because it's one thing to say it with your mouth. It's so easy, especially in this social world. It's so easy to have two faces. You can be most lovable people on social media, and you can be a devil behind the scene. And I believe that mindset is also very important. That's what you store in your mind. Is what you are thinking of. Is what you will become. And how you are preparing yourself or developing yourself in your closet, we expand, we influence others. I always say this, you cannot change people, but you can change yourself. And the way you change yourself, the way you develop yourself, the way you become, you make yourself better, we influence others out there. So body language is also very important. And when you are communicating, and I believe that's one of my own uniqueness, people want to listen to what I want to say, not because of what I want to say, probably because of my smile and the way I respect people. So it's very important that we also watch out how we communicate with others, because that is the only way they can also listen to you and understand what you are trying to put across them. So I want to say to my two mentors that have spoken so far, Professor TPS and